Hello, my fellow healers. My name is Adina, and I'm that healing girl. And in this pick a card reading, we're going to be discussing the energies that are going to come up around this Mercury in retrograde season, which actually occurs in a couple of signs, in the signs of Aries, from the 14th to the 29th. And there's an Aries new moon on the 29th that is happening, and then it transitions into Pisces for the rest of the time until it goes direct on April 7th. So a couple of energies that are going on right now. We are in the energy of the full moon in Virgo lunar eclipse, which happened on the 13th. So that's kind of bleeding into the energies of Mercury retrograde in Aries. And the thing about these energies is you can kind of use them synergistically during this time, because Mercury retrograde in Aries wants to kind of jump ahead more than usual. And as we know, Mercury retrograde is not a good time to jump ahead. It's not a good time to sign contracts or make any final deals or paperwork if you can avoid it. If you can't avoid it, just triple check, quadruple check everything. But if you can avoid it, schedule your document signings and major decisions until the 7th, and use this as a period of review. Now, how you can use this to work for you is Aries is a very bold and fiery sign, and Mercury retrograde is a period of review. So you can use this energy to tie up any loose ends that you have. So if you have projects that have been hanging around that you haven't completed, that to-do list thing that's been hanging around on your to-do list for several weeks now, or that project that you've been wanting to dig into and complete, this is the great time to do it, because Aries will give you that bold energy, and Mercury retrograde's energy will support your completion of unfinished business at this time. Now, you want to do that between the 14th and the 29th, especially around the new moon time. That's going to bring up more things for review that you might not have thought of. And there's also going to be a period of clarity on the 24th in March, so you'll be able to kind of like streamline and revise or course change or correct on any strategies that you have at your work, your job, or anything that you need to tie up loose ends for. Loose end conversations and arguments might come up as well, and so there might be need after retrograde to like apologize or like mend any hurt feelings that happen. But a lot of times these conversations kind of had to happen, even if they are abrupt. Particularly in Aries, you might have been repressing a lot of things, and so going back, or I should say going ahead a little bit to the 29th, the energy between the 29th, after the 29th, on the 30th to the 7th, it transitions into Pisces, and then it goes direct on April 7th. And Pisces is a very dreamy sign, so it's going to be particularly confusing around this time period. I just want you to know you might like forget things. You might like forget important appointments. Like, make sure you have your day sort of pinned on paper and penciled, and double check everything during those time periods, and make sure you leave early in advance, enough time ahead of time throughout this whole season, but particularly from the 30th to the 7th. And so those are my Mercury retrograde recommendations and sort of highlights for the astrological weather that we can experience this Mercury retrograde. It's going to be kind of a hectic one, especially with everything that's going on in the state of the world. You're going to see a lot of that reflected into the energy. So we have pile number 1 with this lovely Celestite crystal, which is very calming. A lot of these crystals are to bring in clarity, calming, to help open up your throat chakra and communication centers that might be a little bit compromised during this time. Okay, and then pile number 2 is the Labradorite, which is great for intuition. And then pile number 3 is the wonderful Sodalite, which is great for clear thinking, rational thinking. And pile number 3 actually had a bunch of cards come out, so it has a little bit extra. I feel like pile number 3 is always my little bit extra pile. But at any rate, there's a couple of extra cards in pile number 3. So yeah, without further ado, pile number 1, 2, and 3, and I will see you in the reading. pile number one with this lovely Celestite crystal. And Celestite is a crystal that is associated with like the angelic realm and like your spirit guides, and softer energies are ushered in. Softer, kinder, more loving, gentle energies are ushered in with Celestite. So let's see what we have in store for you, pile number one. As always, I go with the tarot first. So we have a Four of Swords, Ten of Discs in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Eight of Wands in reverse. So there is... This almost feels like the energy of... It almost feels like a hangman energy, which I guess makes sense for this astrological aspect. There might be a few delays with this Ten of Discs. That represents that you have, I guess you sort of have all your ducks in a row, right? Like you are completely content with your family life, with your with everything you have. And at this point with this when it's in reverse, it means like you might be content to the point of stagnicity, where things are going great for you right now, but you are just uninspired, you are bored, you're honestly just kind of going through the emotions. Yeah, you're going through the motions. And a lot of you might be recovering with this Four of Swords from a period of burnout, or you might just be taking the time you need during this Mercury retrograde to figure out what your next steps are. So with this stagnated period, it gives me a very hangman energy vibe, because you're just sort of idling at this moment. And that's not necessarily a bad thing at this point, because with this eight of wands, you might be moving through a period or moving past a period of really stressful energy. Yeah, I'm getting a sense of really stressful energy, almost like definitely a burnout vibes. You've been doing so much to try and build where you are now, and now you're just like, okay, what do I do? What am I gonna, where am I gonna be? And the thing is, with you, with this happy sort of idyllic situation, sort of, just not being as inspired, like you're gotten to the point where you want to be, and now you're like, okay, I got here, I did all the hustling, I did all the working, I'm resting, now what? Because I feel like for you, you were very excited during the journey, and now that you've completed it, you feel less excited about what you have. With this King of Swords energy, there might be a lot of family members and or people that are like, talking about, essentially about the fact that you're not necessarily grateful for what you have. They feel that way. I'm not saying that you're not grateful. You are grateful for what you have. I'm just saying that the opinion of others, there's this gossipy energy around it, and that might intensify during Mercury retrograde, where they're like, oh my God, and maybe even a little jealousy. Like, oh, this person has all this, like, how dare they be dissatisfied? And the reality is, you have built it, you have worked for it, you have the opportunity to pivot and change your life, and either feel satisfied or unsatisfied with what you are building or what you have built. That is all up to you. That none of that negative talk that you're hearing has anything to do with it. The other thing is, you're thinking about maybe doing something else completely different, like pivoting in a different direction. Let's say you're at this amazing job, and you're at the pinnacle, the zenith. You've got this amazing partner, blah, blah, blah. But maybe now all of a sudden you feel like, I really want to travel the world. And you're trying to figure out, does my current partner fit into this? You're trying to figure out, do I need to quit my job? These are all these things. Now these King of Swords upside down is these voices these sort of voices of censure from maybe even family and friends and people that care about you around you, saying, you've made it this far, you've got everything, you've got the life, why would you want to leave it now? And you're really considering doing that over and so because Mercury retrograde in Aries, it's giving you this energy where you want to change now. Like it's you feel this imminent like need to just break with everything you've created and strike out a new path, essentially. And with Mercury retrograde in Aries and going into Pisces, I'm kind of strongly recommending not necessarily that you don't do it ultimately, but that you don't do it right now, right this minute. The urge that you're feeling is the astrological pool. This is the time when you want to plan out how you would do it, when you want to sort of get all the nuts and bolts in place. For like, let's just say I do want to leave my job and travel the world, or I don't know, start a whole new career, or go back to school, or change, maybe you're trying to sell everything and move to another country because, the current one we're in right now, if you're in the US, is going through a lot of turmoil and you're like, I don't want to move abroad. These kinds of things are huge, major decisions. And I think it would be amazing. I'm sure it would be amazing and always go after your goals. But at the same time, going after your goals requires planning. And with this Aries energy, you might have tried to like do it real quick and you're getting all these stalls and you're getting all this pushback from people in your life saying like, what are you doing right now? You've worked so hard and now you want to, give up everything. So listen to your intuition always. And I can always say with what, take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind, trusting you're exactly where you are in this moment. And really take that to heart. But what you want to do is plan. What you want to do is sort of consider all the outcomes and don't make any hasty decisions. Save all of your actual firm decision making for after Mercury goes direct on April 7th. Let's see. Forgive yourself. Don't become hostage to the past. By liberating yourself for your choices, make amends, forgive your own shortcomings. Keep moving towards a beautiful future. So yes, pile number 1, you are in the right space. You are in the right headspace. Don't listen to the negative self-talk. Do listen to your own voice and forgive yourself if you've put all this work into it and you're like, oh man, now I've put everything into this. I've built everything up and I feel like I've built up the entire wrong life. And you might be harshly judging yourself for that, for the desire to pivot. Don't do that. Forgive yourself. Go within. Again, don't become a hostage to your past choices. At any moment, you have the opportunity to choose a new future. That is the message for you. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation if they feel physically drained or uncomfortable. Or if you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Some of you might also be considering leaving behind relationship or relationships. It might be romantic, platonic, friendships, family. But you're considering, a lot of you are considering leaving everything that you know behind, or leaving the life that you have built up behind. So definitely do not deny yourself your intuition if you feel like this is what you need to do. At the same time, don't do anything rash during Mercury retrograde. Use this as a planning stage. And with this, I'm getting a lot of yoga energy from these cards. So some of you, if you're open to it, or if you already have a practice, lean into your practice of yoga and meditation. But if you don't and you're open to those practices, lean into a yoga and meditation practice, even just starting a simple 5 or 10 minute a day practice, and have your journal out and journal the things that you want to do and the things that you want to achieve, and then come back after on the 7th and revisit all that. Let yourself feel any emotions, any insecurities, any fears, and remember to be gentle and be easy with yourself. Some of you might want to have Celestite, which again is a crystal that attracts your spirit guides and angels. You might need to listen to the wisdom of your higher self and the wisdom of your guides at this time. Pile number 1. And yeah, I think that that is really the message that I have for you, pile number one. Don't be hasty. Don't don't rush into things, but at the same time, don't let fear hold yourself back, and forgive yourself if you find yourself in a life that is not fulfilling you at this moment and you're not necessarily happy when everyone and everything and on paper everything says that you should be. Forgive yourself for that. Move forward gradually, you know, gradually with planning and intention into your new future and reality, pile number one. And that is all that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Please comment, like, and subscribe below if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, pile number two, with this lovely Labradorite crystal, which is a crystal for enhanced spirituality and intuition. Well, let's see what is happening for pile number two. Of course, we do your tarot verse, the Empress, the Ace of Swords in reverse, Ten of Cups, Four of Cups in reverse. This is going to be quite a beneficial time for you, pile number two. I think it's going to be a time of growth. I think it's going to be a time when you are going to, how would I say this? You're going to connect. You're going to have a networking and connection, either to basically reinforcing the friends, the family, and the close relationships that you have. And this is going to bring a lot of beauty and joy and just a lot of blessings into your life. Because the bonds that you forge right now are the bonds that you strengthen, I should say. You've already forged these bonds. You might even forge new ones, new possibilities for new bonds, which of course during retrograde in Aries, don't move into anything quickly, not even any new relationships or flings or anything like that, or any new heart connections, but definitely to be open to them, right? Be open to the fact that they could be around to teach you something in this moment. But I think ultimately for you, pile number two, you are going to be strengthening the bonds and the connections that you have. So with this Empress, this is going to be a time of great creativity for you, a time of great bounties. You might feel this sort of soft life vibe. I'm getting like, gosh, what is that? From Love with Megan, Martha Stewart, like this in a garden, you know, like this energy of soft life and soft living, where you're, you know, despite all of the things that are going on right now in the world that are very chaotic, where you're like in your garden, you're living your best life, you have your friends over for wine or brunch, or, you know, you're hosting small little intimate gatherings. These are the things that are going to bring you joy. You're spending more time with your family and spending a little bit less time with a lot of more practical pursuits. And this is going to come into play around from now to the new moon. Again, because you are spending time with family and friends, there might be some short tempers that come up. There might be a few little disagreements, nothing too big, but like things that you might have to go back and be like, I am so sorry, or let me explain what I really meant by that, or things like that. And then for you, from March 30th to April 7th, this is going to be a very dreamy period for you. Some of you, I get the vibe, some of you might be like, have been laid off work, or you might be like collecting unemployment, or you might be collecting disability because you were like injured. That actually happened to me recently. But this sort of hiatus feeling is coming in for you. And maybe it's because right now, if you've been laid off or something like that, despite the fact that you've built up a really good nest egg and everything, so you're not too stressed, and you can take your time to like look for a new position, look for a new job, and you're really spending this time period connecting and being close to the ones that matter to you in your life. with this Four of Cups, you might not have been able to do that in the past. You might have got, worked. You might have become out of balance. And a lot of you are going to have like with this Four of Cups in reverse and the Empress, a lot of you had like art projects and things like painting. Maybe you wanted to write a book, and you kind of like that kind of fell to the wayside and you became uninspired, where you're going to be getting a lot of the inspiration back. The Mercury retrograde Aries season is going to bring a lot of the inspiration back in, for you to become more artistic, for you to sort of see what that looks like in your life, and for you to become closer to your family and friends. Again, this soft living vibe is coming through extremely strong. And yeah, with this Ace of Swords, that represents that there might be some glitches. You might experience some technological glitches, but I think for you, it's going to probably be like some communication glitches in your family or friends group. And this is like necessary because it's going to bring to the fore any energies that were a little bit out of balance within your close relationships and networks. And those small little disruptions or discussions will sort of allow you to work through things during this time, and to find areas where maybe in your relationships where you weren't seeing eye to eye, and to find some kind of a how would I say I, I guess a compromise, yeah, to find compromise, to find reciprocity, and to find a common ground. Yeah, that's coming in. And with this Labradorite, the intuition part is going to come where you use your intuition to express yourself creatively. Some of you might write poetry, actually. Some of you, I mean, the creative things that I'm getting from you, they're not like practical things that are like, this is going to make you money. That's not the vibe I get. I get the vibe of you being out in your garden. I get the vibe of you going on long drives to the ocean, to hang out with friends on the beach. And you're really sort of kind of almost like separating yourself from the stressful things that are going on right now. And you really need that break with this Four of Cups in reverse. Tame negative thinking. Yeah, I think this is when negative thoughts arrive, experience the feelings behind them and shift to a larger, more compassionate perspective. And I think for you, the negative thoughts are going to come up now that you have some quiet time, right? You weren't thinking about them before when you were kind of hustling. But now that you have this lull, whether it's that you've taken a vacation, I feel like if you've taken time off from work, you have like a lot of vacation times like stocked up. Maybe you're like, I'm taking 3 weeks off. Or, if you're, it might be like I said, you were laid off and now you're sort of very gently putting the feelers out there for new job, but you're not rushing too much, right? Because you made enough to be settled, and you're not feeling stressed for money or stability or security or secure. You might even be in a situation where your partner is also quite secure, and so you're really not rushed or worried. A lot of you will start to get a little bit of like anxiety, or just from not doing what you usually do, not knowing doing what you usually do, which keeps the sort of thoughts that you don't really think about on a daily basis from really going deep. And you are going to kind of go deep, and that's okay to go through that, but don't let it become a negative thought loop. Surrender frustration. Frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath. Center yourself and be calm so you may approach the situation more calmly. This frustration, I think, has to do with the creative project, whatever that is. You might be frustrated because like you're a writer and you feel writer's block, right? Or, this used to come so easily to me and now I haven't done it in so long that, now I'm feeling like I can't get myself back into the creative groove like I used to. Maybe you're a musician or you write songs, or this is the vibe that I'm getting from this. Or you play an instrument and now you're kind of out of practice. Surrender that frustration. Again, this is even your frustration right now is very, very soft vibes, right? So even your frustration is like frustration over artistic and creative things. It's not like frustration over your survival or anything like that. So I think that pile number 2 is going to be a very beneficial time for you, because you're not necessarily going to be beholden to a huge schedule. Use the energy on Pisces. When Pisces enters Mercury retrograde on the 30th to 7th, use that energy and just kind of go with the flow. You know, create when you want to, wake up whenever you want to, sleep in, you know. Some people you out there might take a little CBD gummy edible thingies or have a glass of wine. That's the time to do it, to disconnect, to get in touch with your more ethereal, less structured side. And then when April 7th comes, things are going to become clear. If you have any kind of a creative vibe, it's around April 7th that you're going to be like, oh, wow, okay, I think I see what I'm creating. Maybe you're working on this painting and you don't know where it's going. April 7th comes in and you're going to be like, oh, I think I know what I'm trying to do with this now. Or it might be with writing a book. It might be, you know, you might be an actor, and you're sort of like, okay, I think I know what I want to do over the next 3 months, or I think I know what part I want. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Very creative bunch, pile number 2. And I think that this Mercury retrograde is going to be one not only of growth and strengthening of your interpersonal relationships, but also growth and strengthening of your artistic expression, and of just the soft ease and gentleness of your life that is possible when you lean into your creativity and the flow of life. All right, pile number 2, that is what I have for you. I hope this resonated with you. Of course, as with always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Trusting you are exactly where you need to be in this moment. And if you liked this reading, please comment, like, and subscribe below. Thank you. Bye. Okay, pile number 3 with this lovely Sodalite crystal. And Sodalite is a great crystal for like mental focus, for learners. It's one of the crystals of like Sagittarius. Some of you might be Sagittarius or Gemini. It's great for mental focus. Let's see. 4 of disc in reverse. The Hierophant. 9 of Cups. Ooh. 6 of Wands in reverse. Wow. Justice in reverse. So, okay, there's two major arcana, the Hierophant and Justice, with this 4 of discs. I'm getting a strong vibe that you are moving with this 4 of discs and this 9 of Cups, and the 4 of discs in reverse. 4 of discs usually upright means a time of like sort of lack and poverty, and when it's a reverse, it moves you moving away from those energies. That combined with this 9 of Cups, which is the wish fulfilled card, that combined with the 9 of Cups, I feel like you are not only moving away from a lack mindset, and some of you might have been like doing like law of attraction, manifestation, automatic writing, right? Things like that, things like scripting. And you're now finally, oddly enough, in this time period, which for many people has been actually characterized by like a worry for, you know, money. You are like moving into a space where you are completely beyond that. You are like the physical aspect of the world doesn't mean that much to you when it comes to physical, what would you say, physical possessions, money, and things. It seems like you have gotten to this space that kind of whatever you touch manifests something awesome for you. Manifest, oh gosh, it's raining out there. That's awesome. Manifest something beautiful for you. Manifest another wish, because you're moving out of the energy that was essentially negative, that was full of, how would I say this? That was full of a mindset that was telling you, I can't have this, I can't have that. You've completely reversed course on that. And now you are moving into blessings. And with the Six of Wands in reverse, the blessings might be a little bit delayed. There might be I feel like there's a couple of blessings. Like you have a lot of things. You have gotten a lot of things that you want, and you are moving out of this lack. But there's a couple of things with the Six of Wands in reverse. Normally, if it's upright, everything's been resolved and your recognition has been gained. But with the Six of Wands in reverse, there's a couple of these wishes that you have still yet to fulfill. With this Justice card in reverse, I feel like either there was a injustice against you that had to be righted, and you're still waiting on that. So it might be like, for some of you, and this came up, so you might want to go back to the full moon in Virgo pile lunar eclipse. This came up there. I don't remember which pile it came up in. But the Justice in reverse being a settlement. You might be waiting for a settlement or a court case to come in, especially with this Hierophant in reverse as well. Maybe there's some kind of settlement or judgment. It might be in relation to a divorce, and you're getting some of that, some alimony or some kind of a judgment that you got in the divorce. It might be in the form of a legal case. Maybe there was a lawsuit and you were rightfully owed something, and now you're waiting for that to come in. It might be like, for some of you, it might be like, what would you say, like unemployment or disability, or some kind of settlement, government settlement, or some kind of a court case that you are still waiting on, that is delayed. And that's also going to factor into releasing even more lack from your life. Yeah. Yeah, removing even more lack from your life. And trying to see, I'm thinking something else. So, with this Hierophant, I think your court case has to do with, maybe, if some of you, it has to do with, like, maybe you were discriminated against in some way. And with the Hierophant in upright, it can represent like traditions, long-held values, and maybe you are a person that bucks tradition, and you live your life in an alternative way, and that may be rubbed wrong against some people, and because of that, something happened, and now you have this settlement coming into you. That I'm getting that for a few of you, but for the majority of you, I feel like you're leaving behind tradition, and you're embracing sort of this Aquarius, age of Aquarius spirit, and you're embracing abundance, leaving behind the lack of abundance. And because of that, all these blessings are coming in. The other thing that you are waiting on right now is probably a judgment of some kind in your favor. It might even be something you don't even know about, like an inheritance, or a will being, some kind of will or inheritance being offered to you. That's what I'm getting for pile number 3. Let's see what comes up with your Empath card. Take baby steps. Go slowly like the patient turtle. Don't try to rush or force anything. Yes, yes, yes. Baby steps are golden. They will lead you to your fondest goals. Yes, just keep on doing what you're doing, and keep on doing it consistently. If you're releasing lack and you have sort of a process that's getting you toward your goals, keep on making steady progress in that area. And especially with Mercury retrograde, don't do anything rushing. Don't, I feel like whatever this judgment or case or settlement, there's a good chance it might come in on the 24th or after the 24th is the clarity period for this Mercury retrograde. Also, the 29th is the new moon in Aries, and that like really favors, you know, snap decisions. So it might like be, all of a sudden be like, whoa, okay, wow, I got that. And then, of course, April 7th, when Mercury turns direct, is another good space. Energize yourself with earthing. Walk barefoot, stretch on the grass, put your hands in the soil or hold a stone. Let the earth restore your strength and ground you. That's going to be really, really important during this Mercury retrograde in Aries. Wow. It is pouring cats and dogs outside. I don't know if you can hear that, but I mean, wow. So yeah, take the time to ground yourself during this Mercury retrograde in Aries, because you might feel a little bit off kilter, particularly from March 30th to April 7th, which are kind of like telling everybody that's when Pisces enters Mercury retrograde, and a lot of you might feel like pretty unsettled, pretty ungrounded. This is the time where you can ground yourself and gain your center and gain clarity. For the power of surrender, surrender stubbornness. I think this has to do with whatever judgments or cases. Like, don't try to be so how would you say it? Don't try to be so stubborn, so set in your ways. Open room for flexibility. It says, if you're tensing up, taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more willing. This will help you communicate more lovingly with yourself and others. I feel like that means like living in the flow, going with the flow. Surrender your need to always be right. Yes, give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. I think that there's a possibility in this pile as well for whatever judgments or decisions or conflicts that are being settled right now to get really heated, especially with this Aries energy that's coming in. And you're going to need to take time to ground yourself, move slowly and incrementally, and just let yourself go with the flow. You don't have to always be right. You know, take the victories that you gain and let the rest go. That's the vibe that I'm getting. But the total outcome for you, pile number 3, is that you're definitely going to have this wish fulfilled card come in, and you're definitely going to have a myriad of blessings and a myriad of abundance coming into your life. And as I was saying that huge shower of rain, I just feel like that's going to be like blessings and abundance raining down on you, pile number 3. So yes, that is what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. Of course, as always, with every reading, take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind, trusting you're exactly where you need to be in this moment. Please comment, like, and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.